G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Now, being July, I am going to try a Christmas in July video. So, I am using my Baubles silicone mould. It's a Christmas ornament or decoration mould, as you can see. It's not very deep. It's only about 4 mil deep. About 1/4 of an inch, I think 4 mil is. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. So when you hang them on the trees, they're not going to be too heavy because you don't want big, chunky, heavy ornaments on your trees, if you've got a little tree anyway. Now, you've seen me using the Fantasy Film. Now, these are along the same lines. These are Fantasy Fibres. So from the same place, Art Glitter. I will link it down below, but I think the website has been slammed and they've pretty much sold out of everything since I've been putting my videos up. So what I want to try, because these little moulds aren't very deep, I should have opened all these beforehand, shouldn't I? What I want to do is I'm going to pour a little bit of resin in, just a really thin resin. I'll use my Platinum Ultra Clear. Actually, I'm going to move it out of the way in case I get fibres all over it. And then I'll bring these in. So these are the colours I'm going to use. I have got another 2, but I'm going to try these ones first. And see how we go. So basically, it's just a fibre. It's like a big, like a ball of hair. Anyway, like a bun. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a little bit of each colour and I'm going to kind of just spread it delicately inside my mould. I'm not going to heat it. I'm just going to place it in my mould, kind of push it down. It's not thick. It's just like thin fibres. And then, it's a very simple video, but I think the results will be stunning. So I'm just going to use clear resin and the Fantasy Fibres, and they've got different colours in them. They shine. So when they're hanging up on your Christmas tree and the lights are flickering behind them, you'll be able to pick up all these gorgeous little iridescent colours. So that's my theory behind what I'm doing today. So what do you think? So that's that one. Put it on a piece of black for you. So there's that one. Whoops, there's that one. We don't need all of that. I don't need much. They're only little, only little molds. All right, there's that. So the first one was called Ultraviolet. This one is Bellflower, and this one is Fairy Wings. Now, what you can do, if you want to make yourself a piece of Fantasy Film, all you have to do is sort of put these together and you can iron them, like put baking paper underneath and the top and then iron them together and they'll fuse together and you'll get a mixture of all those gorgeous colours. This one is Shimmering Pink. And Cameo Rose. Am I missing one? Oops, that's a bit much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the green. Haven't opened the green yet. What's this one called? This one is Mint Sparkle. That's very appropriate. Mint Sparkle. But yeah, I have got a couple of others. One is like a really deep, dark ocean green, which I thought would look amazing in my turtle, so I'm going to keep it for that. So there they are. Those are the colours I'm going to use today. So I'm going to mix up my resin. And yeah, we'll get this show on the road. Now, because I'm doing a clear pour and I want my resin to be nice and clear, I've just finished stirring it for 4 minutes. I'm going to pop it into my Resiners Airless. Just pop that over there for a second. And that is going to go in there. I've just put a piece of silicone matting on the bottom there, just so that it doesn't slide around too much. That goes on there. I'm going to make sure that the little plug at the back is closed, which it is. It comes with a European plug, so I've just got my little converter there. I've also got my other one plugged in, my Let's Resin curing machine. So they're both sitting there. I use them all the time. All right, now we're just going to turn this on, and I might go to 9 minutes. It starts on its own. It's not very loud. I've got my big vacuum chamber over here with its pump. So all my equipment on this bench here. All right, let's have a little look and see what it's doing. I might stop the video and just put you on like a fast forward so I don't have to stand here and hold the camera for the next 9 minutes. Okay, so there was a few little bubbles left on top, and I just gave them a quick torch. So here we go, but most of the bubbles came out in the Airless. And it's going to pop a little bit in each, and then I will need to kind of spread it. Now, if you do want this baubles mold, I'll link it down below in the description for you. It's got its little built-in ring there, so you can tie your ribbon straight on. Let's just spread these. I won't bore you with, oh, there's a stray fantasy fibre. I won't bore you with me spreading them all in front of you, but I'll spread them all out. And then I will come back to you. So I think if you're doing this, pick a thin resin. Don't pick a thick coating resin because, you know, it's thick and it'll fill the whole cavity up. So anyway, all right, I'll come back to you shortly. Now I am giving them just a little bit of a spray with my isopropyl, especially in these little loops there, just so that, oops, fantasy fibre everywhere, just so that, you know, the bubbles won't cling to the edge, to kind of break that surface tension of the resin, of the mould I should say, of the silicone. So just spray it, push the resin around in there and into these little points as well. Doesn't take long. If you go over, if you spill any over the top, you can just clean it up with the baby wipe afterwards. No big deal. This one needs a little bit more. Like so. And then once the bases are all covered, I'll start laying the fantasy film. Fantasy fibres, I should say. I think that's it. I think everybody, oops, missed you. Everybody's got a good covering. Alrighty. Give them all a little bit of a tap, 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 tap. What you could do with a little bit more just there. This is the biggest one. Different sizes, different shapes. I love this mold. Alright, now you can get a little baby wipe and just go around. If you've spilt any, a lot of those drops of alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol that you can see that are on the actual mold there. Just clean that up. Okay, we are good to go. All right. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gloves off for this part because I'm only going to be touching Fantasy Fibre. I have no idea how I'm supposed to do this. I'll keep this. I'll keep this. This I can use to like poke things in, and this one I'll use for poking as well. Get organised. I'll get a little bit of paper towel there. So I can pop that on there. All right. Oh my gosh, this is nerve-wracking. Where am I going to start? All right, here. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready. Just going to pop that there. Look, I have no idea if this is going to work, you guys. It's just, I just had this thought in my mind that I wanted to do this. I have no idea how it's going to work. And like I don't want too much in there. You know, I just want like a little hint of colour. Just like that. There's a few poking out, so we can just push them back in. If you didn't want to like go to the trouble of pushing them all in, you could just, you know, after you've unmolded, you could just easily trim off any little loose threads that may be there. I don't think it's going to be a major issue. They're very, very fine. Okay, so that's it. Just a light covering. Woohoo! I've done one. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's do some of this green. So I think it's probably a good idea if I kind of pull it apart first and then lay it in. Kind of like when you're doing the crushed velvet effect, hey? You put your plastic down, and even the chiffon. You put your chiffon in and then you move it around to where you want it. I'm not fussed about having them right up into that little loop there. You're not going to see that anyway, because it's going to have a ribbon on it, so I don't think you'll see if there's no Fantasy Fibres in there. Break off a few more. So that's basically all I'm going to do. Like, I don't want to have it too full. I want to be able to see through the ornament with the sparkling lights behind it, but the lights will just pick up that little shimmer. But you know what? It's July, so my Christmas tree is packed away in its box up in the shed. So I don't know how I'm going to show you the finished product because I don't have a tree at the moment. And it's huge. It's like 10 foot, I think. 10? Doesn't fit in like a regular size ceiling. I've got to put it in the area of my house where I've got a really high cathedral ceiling because it's very tall. All right, so I'm going to keep doing this. I'll put you on a time lapse because basically I'm just repeating what I'm doing here in my steps. And then I'll wait until, actually I don't even know if I need to wait. I don't know, because I have got some resin left. I don't know whether I need to wait until this first layer has cured a little bit and then come back and put my second layer on. I'm not sure because I've still got all this. What happens if I put more on? It might work. It might work. We'll see what happens. By the time I've made my way through all of them, I might be ready for my second layer. Because, like I said, they're not very thick. You know, they should just poke straight down. All right. I'll see you at the end of this. Okay, so that's all done. Some areas I thought, oh, I've got a little bit much, and so I pulled some out, and then other areas I wanted a little bit more, so I put more in. I'm not quite sure exactly how much I need, but yeah, we'll find out together. Now, like I said, there's a few little stray hairs hanging over the edge, but I'm not worried about those. I can just trim those off later. Let's actually pop in our remaining resin just over the top. Don't think it'll benefit from, you know, letting it cure and then putting a top layer on. So I'm just going to do it all now. Hopefully I've made enough. I did 75 grams of part A and 32 grams of part B. And that was my Platinum Ultra Clear. Because initially when I made it up, I thought, oh, I'm just going to do one layer. But then, yeah, might as well just use it all, hey? Might as well. All right, let's just go a little bit more. Just adding little bit by little bit. And the resin can self-level, work out where it wants to go. The mold doesn't take a lot of resin. So if you're on a bit of a budget and you don't want to use too much resin, it's a good mold. And you're getting a lot of pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pieces you're getting. So I think it's good value. And I don't think I've got quite enough resin. Oh gosh. Okay. Probably needed, instead of 75 and 32, probably 143 would have been good. I'll just mix up a little bit more and fill these up. And then I'll come back to you when it's time to unmold. And I've got a little light that I can shine, you know, behind them just to mimic what a Christmas light would look like. So I'll do that once. Well, this one's quite full. You don't really need much at all. Probably only need like another ounce. All right, I'll do that, and I will see you when these are ready to unmold. Okay, so it's the next day. These have set. I know they don't really look very attractive at the moment, but the whole idea of doing these was that we would get that gorgeous shimmer from, you know, the Christmas tree fairy lights. So we'll get them out and just see if it's going to work. Because that was my thought. that was what I was planning anyway. They've got a few little hairs and things attached to the side, but look, it comes off really easy. It's not a problem. Okay, now I will link that mold down in the description if anybody wants the bauble mold. Now, what's going to be the best way to do this? Maybe just like that. I got a little bit of overflow on a couple of areas. Just gotta be really careful when you're doing this. Don't put your thumb right there in case it slips. Move your thumb out of the way. Okay? Don't want any injuries, okay? No injuries. Okay, so that's that. Now this side is going to be the smooth side. So this is the side that you're going to have facing you. The other side, I guess if you did 2 layers, waited for one to set and then did the other, it wouldn't have any sort of texture on that. It's not much texture, just a little bit. Right, let's just go through all of these real quick and just clean them up a little bit with my little scalpel blade. Oops. Pick off any little loose hairs. So anyway, I'll finish all of those, but let's have a look and see what they look like against the black. Can you see any kind of colour shifting? I can see pink and purple. I don't know what you can see. This one's really pretty. I see blue, I see green. I see red, I see red, I see red. No, I don't. All right, let me tidy them up a bit for you first. Okay, so the only way I can really show you, because I haven't got a Christmas tree that's got fairy lights on it in July. So I've got a torch just there, flashlight, and it's shining across my black paper, and I'll just do the best I can to show you what it may look like with little fairy lights. Oh, I missed a couple of hairs. So this one's throwing pink and purple, a bit of blue, and then this one, I'll just hold them on the edges there for you. Missed a bit of trimming there. Look at the light that it's casting here onto the paper as well. So yeah, they're really pretty. Don't look much just on their own, but when you've got that light behind them against your, your dark green Christmas tree, I think it would look amazing. Or maybe you've got a blue Christmas tree. Oh gosh, I can see all these little bits now that there's a light shining on them. I couldn't see them before. Oh. Hopefully you get the general idea. It's a little bit tricky for me to show you. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. All right, here's another one. Oh, I can see where I've missed some bits. Gosh. Gosh. I'll tidy them up later. I'm liking these bluey green ones. This big one that had the navy, I might not have put enough fantasy fibre in it. Some have got more than others, and I think maybe more is a bit better. Look at that. Loving those lights playing around. Lights jumping all over the place. But yeah, have a go with these fantasy fibres. I mean, you don't have to put them in Christmas decorations, but you can do whatever you like. If you're not already a member of my Facebook group, Pouring Your Heart Out, feel free to join. The link is down below in the description, and then you can show me what you've done with some fantasy fibres and fantasy films, and we can chat about them, and you can chat with the other members about resin, all kinds of resin, acrylic pouring. A few more to go. I told you I did a lot. Got a lot of pieces here. Oh, that one's pretty. Yeah, I do like the blues and the bluey green ones, don't I? Always have. Need to do a little bit more trimming, don't I? Love that one. And a little pink dude, little pinky. Oops, missed. It's not hard just to trim around the edges afterwards, so don't stress too much about making them too perfect when you're pouring them. It's a very shallow mould. It's very shallow, but it's good because they're very lightweight. You don't want really heavy decorations, do you? Oh, look at that one. Again, it's the greeny blue one. What colour was that? I think that was the pale green, the minty one. Really pretty. Okay, that's me done. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my little video. Christmas in July. I may just do another one. I may. I do have another Christmas mould. I've got a couple of Christmas. Actually, I've got a few. I've got a druzy one too that I'd like to use as well. Druzy crystal decorations. So I might do that one as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all again real soon for the next video. Take care, guys. Bye for now.